Alright, I think it's recording. Again we try. Miss Carol.
Okay.
Mr. Brian.
And Mona.
Okay, right.
So here we are again at the Course in Miracles Center, and we're very happy to have Brian here with us and the wonderful Mona, and we're going to talk about forgiveness. So what do you think about forgiveness, Brian?
I think forgiveness, I wrote something about how when you forgive, first of all, forgiveness, people think that it's for the other person, and you know, it has to be dependent on what they did or not did, or if it's, you know, how egregious the crime was against them. And I think what you start to realize is that forgiveness is really first and foremost for yourself, and it's there's a freedom that comes in forgiveness that comes into being when you're able to forgive and let go of the burdens of whatever happened in the past within yourself.
Did you say a grievance?
Egregious. It's a big word.
Egregious, yes. What does egregious mean?
It means really bad.
You mean, damaging, error, victimhood, ooh. And what is your forgiveness, Ms. Carol?
Well, I know that everything needs to be forgiven. That if we hold on to one grievance, all the light of the world, everything that God would really like us to enjoy can't be given to us. So by yourself it's extremely hard to forgive, but you can ask for help within, and the help is there. And as a student teacher of the Course in Miracles, I know that I need to ask for help, and I will receive it if you give everything over.
But the help you're looking for is actually a clarity behind the feeling of being wronged. Mm-hmm. So then you've just become a victim, which creates more fear, because then you think it's all everything instead of just one thought occurrence that really had no power behind it.
And what the Course in Miracles teaches us is that all things, no matter how they look or feel at the time, are for your own best interest. So, you know, things can happen and you can be quite wounded and think, how could that person do that? And so forth. But if you really understand that whatever's going on,
we've asked for it as a lesson.
Some way, and until we get over it, it will keep reoccurring.
Right.
But as we ask for help and we want to forgive, life becomes a lot more joyful.
Well, you could also put yourself in somebody else's shoes and figure out why they might have done that. If it was that much of an occurrence to the point that you're what did you say?
Egregious.
Egregious over it. Or about it, or because of it. Because when you do that, it just, like she says, it turns into a ping pong match of, you did this! No, you did that! So forgiveness is cutting the cord of fear that basically you gotta let go of. Forgiving, like you said. Lower your end of the rope. No more fighting over stuff that doesn't really mean anything.
And the Course in Miracles makes a big point that it is essential to trust your brothers and sisters. So as you begin to trust and really go into your own integrity, where you're not there to hurt anyone or to lie to somebody, or life gets easier. It just gets so much happier once you have these understandings.
Yeah, know what you put out there you're going to receive, so you can understand what it is that's happening. What you give is what you get. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you.
And one of the things the Course teaches, which is completely different than anything, like, I believe that most of us feel that if we're not in a special relationship or this amazing, having this very special other person, that we're not a success.
Well, if you live with outside yourself, that creates a disharmony, and you can't have success if you have disharmony, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if you learn to be in forgiveness and to be in the wow of now,
that's right, the wow
and
now,
appreciate what's ever going on, life becomes a lot more joyful.
Well, and to share it with others, because then more joy just makes
It's so true.
good party.
You know, I was involved with theater when I was younger, and I could see that after a show, the people, because they really had to work together to succeed in the show, everybody had to help each other and do their lines and do their part properly for the show to go on. But the people were so happy together. And that's like the greatest thrill, to see people really be happy with each other.
Well, do you think it might be because they understand that none of us are going to be perfect?
Well, everybody's doing the very best that they can.
Right.
So if somebody does make a mistake, nobody's really upset.
Well, there should be no harm because of a mistake, right?
But we often, that's why what the Course is saying about it's essential to trust your brothers and sisters, or everybody, because if you do not trust, you then create the reality of your fear.
Right.
The Course wants us to understand that all minds are joined. So if I was sitting here thinking that you're not a good person, you would show me that. Just because of my thoughts.
Yeah.
Not because you're a bad person, but my thoughts could bring about something.
That you would see to make it so.
Exactly. So it's really important to train your mind to want to see God in everything.
Well, see love in everything. And trust, like you said, and hope, and hey, we're all in the same boat, people.
And to want to see everybody succeed.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I have to succeed. Everybody needs to succeed.
Well, because,
And when we work together to have everybody succeed, then it's really happy.
Right.
And that's what community, I believe, is really about. And a different way for people. People won't have to work so hard if they're not having to do everything for themselves.
Right.
So
Right.
a new way of
Forgive
being
us. No.
will definitely be more spiritual community, because community without a spiritual basis of wanting to see the good, you can have a lot of problems. Really.
Yeah.
People can become very competitive and so forth.
Well, we shouldn't be living by expectations and make things idols to the point where we're not paying consciousness to the now. Right? To the now. And, things happen because they're supposed to happen. Why get upset about them?
What makes you the happiest?
What makes me the happiest, I think a lot of people think that what makes them the happiest is some sort of big accomplishment or some sort of big goal that's been achieved, if it's achieved. A lot of times it's not even achieved, but and it's in the future, somewhere in the future. So I find that what makes me the happiest, what I've discovered and written about, is the simplest things in life that really make one fully present in the moment.
Right.
So just earlier today, just seeing a butterfly, little yellow butterfly fly across.
Yeah.
I get the
That made me
honeybees
really
these
happy.
days, which is really cool. Yeah, I'd see bee poop on my windshield. I'd be celebrating down the road.
Seeing flowers blooming right now, and the trees blooming.
No, we are in the most beautiful time of the year.
Yeah.
It's so fabulous.
Yep, it's spring equinox, March
And the thing is
21st,
too, wherever
2012.
people live that are watching this, there's beauty. There's
If they
beauty
have the
see.
eyes to see,
Exactly.
right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So see forgiveness, right?
Yeah, because what happens is that if you hold on to a grievance, it's amazing how it works in your mind. And it comes up. And then, if you say, well, I'm not going to speak to that person ever again, and you sort of exclude that person, you think you're over that. But the truth is, Spirit's going to send a similar situation, only in another body.
Right.
Until you learn that forgiveness is,
the lesson.
Right.
Learn the lesson.
Release the judgment.
Yeah, we're really in school at all times. And how happy do you feel in the moment I think, is what grade you're in.
That's great. That's quotable.
Wow, bumper sticker time.
Because if you're just always resentful and angry and complaining all the time.
It will also physically harm you. I think that's where a lot of illnesses and mental disorders are created from, is because of that.
And because we've been told that when I fall in love with somebody, now they're supposed to make me happy all the time. And the truth
yeah,
of
but
the
that's
matter
even
is,
with a job. And that's even with idolized religions and things like that, that they're looking outside themselves for a harmony that they can't call to themselves unless it's within them. And that's
but
where a lot
unless
of the
you know
chaos
that
happens.
the happiness is really within. And then by going within and coming out in appreciation of everything that's around you, I think it totally opens your consciousness.
Honor the light
Such a
that's
big
here.
time
Right.
to really appreciate just the smallest thing, like the smile of a child, or
I know.
it's just so amazing. And that's why going out alone is often so much more fun than going with another person, because when you're alone you meet people.
Yeah.
And you can talk to people. And
well, but that doesn't mean you can't do it without somebody else being with you.
But if you're with somebody, the way that I like
special
to meet
relationship meeting is the next one or something. But right now it's forgiveness.
All right.
I forgive you.
So if you give whatever is bothering you, and you ask, this is what the Course in Miracles teaches, you ask within your mind to be taught, knowing that you really don't know how. And you turn over in your mind everything that you believe has hurt you to your higher self.
Right.
Who knows how to heal it and why these things have happened.
Exactly.
And then you can live pain-free. I mean, I have no aches or pains, and this body works like
And you're how old?
78.
And 53. And
I'm 79.
79. Twice. Alright, so we're going to trial this. This was our 1, and we'll see what 2 is. But y'all be safe. Peace. Joy. Out. Forgive me for I get very close.